Alright, what do I think of Cyberpunk 2077? I think it's good. No, I think it's garbage. No, it's a masterpiece. Well, I really don't know. Somewhere in between? Probably. It's hard to say, because this game is not the type of game I usually play. It's an open world GTA-like shooter that takes place in an alternate future where Cold War didn't end so well. I don't really remember. Anyway, it doesn't matter. It's an open world game first and foremost, and I don't really like those types, to be honest. They tend to be overwhelming and complicated with uninteresting side quests. I prefer a more linear game like, I don't know, Doom or Mario or freaking Pokemon, COD, I don't care. Basically anything. But open world games, I just don't like to play them. However, there was one game that is an exception. This game being Breath of the Wild. Breath of the Wild is one of those games that is so breathtaking, so beautiful, so perfect, that it just fills you with nostalgia when replaying it. It's one of those games that you wish you could discover again, replay for the first time. I thought I would feel that way about Cyberpunk when first playing, but now I don't think I will. Alright, let's talk about the game's atmosphere. The game has an 80s futuristic, dystopian-like atmosphere, similar to movies like Blade Runner, Running Man, stuff like that. It's a subgenre of sci-fi known as cyberpunk, so the name fits. The game has subtle nods to cyberpunk genre. This is evident with the Japanese culture takeover in the city and in the game, and in 80s sci-fi. So yes, I like the subtle nods to what came before. The attention to detail is also amazing. I've yet to walk into a room or area in the game where the detail is lacking. This is where Cyberpunk shines. Where it doesn't shine, however, is with the NPCs. There are like 3 different types of NPCs with like different skin color and clothing and stuff. It kind of breaks the immersion for me. And this is disappointing. So, the immersion, not there. The atmosphere and detail, pretty good. Alright, let's now turn our attention to the story. The story is pretty forgettable for the most part. I remember a lot about the beginning and end, but not a lot about the middle. This is not a good thing. I like the end where you have to choose freedom and death, or to live a long life but be owned by Arasaka, a big company in the game. The game has pretty heavy anti-corporation themes throughout, which I like. I can't really complain about the writing and dialogue, and the actors are pretty solid, especially Keanu Reeves. He's very good in this, and when he speaks, I listen, 'cause it's interesting. He just fits the character of Johnny Silverhand. The characters are also memorable and charming. So overall, the story is pretty good. And for a video game, I like it. It works, despite its forgettable middle. Now how about the combat and the gameplay? Does this hold up? Well, to give you a straight answer, no. In the beginning, there's a tutorial for how to fight and fist fight and melee and box and such. But as the game started to pick up speed, I realized that this was mostly a stealth shooter. Every mission in the game is the same. You sneak into a facility, get caught, shoot the place up, and steal whatever you had to steal or do whatever you had to do. This gets old pretty quick, and this doesn't really fit the atmosphere and the story that Cyberpunk is about. This is a bad sign. This is a video game, and gameplay should come first, or at the very least, be fun enough and engaging enough to have the player want to go through and finish the game. And guess what? Out of all my friends who bought it, I was the only one who bothered playing through the story and beating some of the side quests. Maybe this is because I'm more patient with games I'm very hyped to play. I couldn't wait to play this game. And when I did, I convinced myself when I started to not really like it that I liked playing Cyberpunk. And I kind of did. I think this game is worth playing through. However, I can see why many fans were disappointed by how the game turned out compared to what CD Projekt Red, the developers of the game, promised. And maybe because of this, they gave up on the game. The players, I mean. I will not go in depth on what we got versus what was promised. I will link a video by Crobecat, or I don't remember his name, but it was a pretty in-depth 45-minute video on the difference between what we got and what was promised. So I will link that in the description. In conclusion, Cyberpunk is worth playing, but it's just not the game everyone expected. And the glitches really weren't a problem for me, to be honest. So if it's the glitches that turned you off from playing, then don't worry. It's not that bad in that aspect. But the combat system and level design just isn't good, and I don't really want to play it anymore. Cyberpunk 2077 is worth playing through the main story, but completing it, not so. And now, after beating the game, I would just rather play something else. 3 out of 5. Well, guys, what'd you think? It was my first, my highest production video I've ever made so far. I've been wanting to do a review like this for a long time now, but specifically Cyberpunk. I just wanted to voice my opinion about the game. You know, the glitches, it wasn't just the glitches, it was, but I do think it's worth playing. It's not a terrible game. I wrote this whole long script, my first real scripted video. I don't really like scripting. I rather just speak from the heart. But if you like this type of video, leave a like. I'll probably do more. But yeah, thanks for watching, and maybe I'll do another one.